What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Too Good to Be True. And we made it through another week, and we are on Friday. Friday. It is always love to get to a Friday because that means we handle the business during the week. But you know how I feel about during the week. We never sit here and just pat ourselves on the back and kick our feet up. We dig in a little bit more, and we just keep trying to figure out how we can outshine the competition and outshine those people that we're competing with and going against every day with inside our circles and our network. But you guys know Friday. We get here. There's some days that are shorter than others when it comes to these fast Fridays, but the logic is to make sure it's mentally fast Friday. I'm plugging in, I'm doing the things that I need to do. And everybody that's tuning in knows that I love movies, go to the movies quite often, watch a lot of movies, and I really love to pick and plug things from movies that I can bring back and disseminate to everyone. And one of the best things that I saw last week was I went with my girlfriend to see F1. And we sat down and we watched the movie, and it was very good. I was actually very, not surprised. It was very enjoyable. It didn't seem like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, like it moved very well. I realized the cast, top to bottom, was very well built and very well constructed. Everybody did what they did. But there was one very special thing that stuck out to me during the movie. And if you've seen it or not seen it, I'm kind of not going to spoil it for you. But you have Brad Pitt, who's in the movie with Dansom Idris. That's what it is. Dansom Idris. Yes, I know. I always get it confused. He's in the movie, and it's pretty much an old vet, a wily dog, and a little young and up and comer who has talent, but just isn't there yet. And so throughout the movie, Brad Pitt joins this racing team because one of his best buddies is the owner or the manager of it. And so Brad Pitt comes in here and he does a lot of things that old cats do. He's really old school. But he was doing things like his workouts were old school, his tactics were a little bit old school, and he was more, rather than paying attention to a lot of technology, he tried to do it a different way. There's this very interesting part in the movie because Brad Pitt, like I say, he's old school. But Damson Idris, he's doing his running like on the treadmill, plugged up with these masks and just doing all this next level stuff, which is very important. But then you have Brad Pitt, who is just, taking jogs and runs around the track, before they race. And that's how he's training. And so Brad Pitt's doing this, and there's montages of him doing this, every couple days, and the people are looking at him like, "What the heck is he doing?" But he's real nice and friendly to the staff and the team, or the team of the racing team, or the people that put it together. And so everybody kind of sees him doing this, and they see him going out for a run. So they kind of see him leave. He's also getting there super duper early in the morning. Like one time, Dansom showed up early and he saw him running around the track and he laughed at him. And he said, "Yo, what?" He asked his pit boss or somebody, I don't know who he is. He asked somebody like, how long's he been here? And the pit boss is like, "Before me." And you can see the smile disappear from Damson's face as far as like, "Oh, this old dude ain't playing around." Like, and so that was his first glimpse of like, okay, well, he's doing some weird stuff, but he beat me here today, and I'm supposed to be the next person in line. Like, that doesn't look good on me. So as Brad Pitt's doing all this running around the track, like I said, he's doing days of it. And so slowly but surely, you'll see him like one time he's jogging with, two of the other people that are in that pit crew that fix up the car and jack it up when they come in and things like that. And they're kind of playful with it. They're racing. And he says, last person in has to buy lunch and whatnot. And so you can see him building this camaraderie because there are people that start to come along with him, that they're like, all right, well, and maybe he might have invited them on a run. It doesn't really say. But he went from just him to, him and two other people running. And then one of the last montages or one of the last times he was running, it was pretty much everybody in the pit crew. So upwards of probably like 15 or 20 people are taking these jogs and these runs around the track. And it's very powerful because it's like, granted, they did start winning. So that's one thing with camaraderie. Like, of course, when you're winning, it's a lot easier to do stuff and to have a routine. But that's also what might have brought them closer to begin to start to win as well. But I just liked it because they go through this whole thing and you see that last little bit with them running and they were racing up the hills, or for them not to be the last one that would have to buy food or dinner, or the meal that they were going to have. And then Brad Pitt ends up like missing one of the last races. And so Damson shows up and kind of everybody's in the garage getting together what they have to get together because they're about to do this last race, but they know that Brad Pitt is not there. And so Damson shows up and he's kind of happy. He's really, really kind of giddy. And so he sits down in the pit and everybody's kind of doing their job, getting ready for the race. And he asks, like, why is everybody so mopey? Like, what is everybody busy right now? Like, what do you guys got to do? And they were like, well, what do you want to do? And he looks at them and he pulls out a pair of socks. And everybody kind of starts smiling and laughing. And they pretty much go on a jog as a team, just like they were with Brad Pitt the race before that. And it was funny because Damson was never running with them during this time. He knew they were running, but he was never running with them during this time. And so as Brad Pitt was not there, this was Damson pretty much stepping up and saying, "All right, we're still going to do this. We've been doing this for a while, or you guys have been doing this for a while, but let's keep his memory alive, or let's just like, do this run kind of for him." But it was literally him taking the torch, and now that he's running with it pretty much. And so they go on this whole run and they run around the track and everything. And just when they finish their run, Brad Pitt comes walking in and so he sees them running. So it's kind of this really feel good moment. And I wanted to bring that up because it's so important. You talk about leadership and you talk about, how to get people to follow you. One, you need to do things that are outside of the norm. And don't quote me on this or don't sit here and say, "Hey, Drew said you need to do stuff outside of the norm." No. What I mean is the good stuff outside of the norm. Like I said, Brad Pitt was old school and kind of that was his way to be one with the track or whatever, but he brought a different tradition to them. And so that's what I meant. Like nobody was running with the crew or nobody was that close knit with the crew on that level that he began to build. And so he brought something new and went a different direction because he was helping them with their camaraderie. They weren't a great team before he got there, and they still weren't a great team when he got there, but they started to get better. But they started to get better from how they were racing and how they were operating as a team. But then it was those times outside of all these times that also helped them get better, which is running along the track, having meals together, sitting down and having discussions or conversations on how somebody could do their job better or what they would need. Like it was those types of things. The second thing is I think it had addressed how much that they needed and relied on each other. And in F1, I don't know much about F1, but it seems like all the attention is on the drivers because they're the people that are in the driver's seat behind the wheel. They're the people that cross the finish line. They're the most notable people that people see. But there's a whole team of people doing things, talking in their headset, people that are looking at the track, monitoring tires, the people in the pit crew that jack the car up and switch the wheels out, and they got to do it under a certain amount of time to help the driver. Just all these certain things that if one person doesn't do their job well, or if one person messes up, it could be the difference between them being in first place and being in fifth place. It could be the difference between them finishing and not finishing. It could be the difference between, a championship and, somebody getting fired. So it's very important. But a lot of the time, like I said, the focus is put on the drivers. And I really felt like Brad Pitt's character brought the focus to how it is a team effort in everything they're doing. They win as a team, they lose as a team, they smile as a team, they cry as a team. I really felt like, and he didn't really need to say much, and he didn't say it like throughout the movie, but you can see that he did it with his actions. And he did it with his actions by how he spoke to the group, by how he addressed them. And he did things that were unconventional, but he never felt like he disrespected anybody flat out to their face through this whole movie, which was something that Damson Idris's character cannot say for himself. And lastly, it shows the growth of Damson's character. For him to be this young, snotty nosed kid who is next up and it's going to be him that wins all the races, to being somebody who saw that he really didn't have the leadership qualities that he needed to lead this team. But by him being around, and Brad Pitt's name in the movie was Sonny, by him being around Sonny and seeing how he operated and seeing how he treated people, over the whole course of the movie, he finally started to get it. Okay, it's not just about racing. It's about the preparation up to racing. It's about my team and how I collaborate with them to be able to put myself in the best position to win. It's about these small little tidbits here and there that's going to help us grow our relationship. That's going to help us want to do great things because the guy next to us or the guy across from us is working their butt off. Because I know how hard they go and how much time they put into this. And so it ended up being bigger because with Brad Pitt not being there on that last shot, he realized like, and everybody else realized like, okay, we think this guy turned the corner now. We think he's in the position where he's ready to lead this team. He's ready to be the number one driver for this industry or for this team that we have, and that he's not that same young kid that we had 9 races ago. He's matured, he's developed, he's shown growth, and him taking us on this run or him leading this run is him saying like, "Hey, Sonny's not here, but I got us. Hey, we still gonna do this. I still expect a lot out of you guys." And so for me, it was just really heartwarming because being around sports, you see that stuff all the time, or you're kind of exposed to it without really knowing. And then all of a sudden the OGs or the older guys that used to do these things for you are gone. And and you look around for the next person to do it, and you slowly start to realize, dang, it might be me. I'm that next person that has to kind of pull people along and do certain things that are out of the norm to get people to catch up. I got to be the one that starts pouring into other people because I have so much knowledge and wealth to pull from that I need to give it to other people. So as you hear this, we talk about F1, we talk about the movie and what it entails, but really what it talks about is it's about leadership. It's about mentorship. It's about being able to bring other people along that might be kind of slacking off or far behind. And just because you're in the front and you're the leader and you're the person leading, that doesn't mean that you don't go to the back and grab that person and say, "Hey, man, I got you. I'm right here next to you." But it speaks about if you're in charge of a team or if you're at work or if you play a sport, take some initiative, take some onus on being able to put your stamp on something, on being able to stand for something, on being able to have some structure and have some morals and some scruples that you've put in place for your life that you're unmoving and unwavering and adjusting to. But more so than rather than being up here and being able to raise our hand and saying, "Hey, this is what I've done in my life. These are all my accolades." And you sit there and have other people rave about what you've done for them to help them be a better person, to help them reach a milestone or just heights that they never imagined because they didn't think it was possible. Then they were exposed to you and you poured into them and you gave them some knowledge and some game to get them to the next level and saw something special in them. That's what it's about. I know it's a movie, it's a feel good movie, but that little certain spot, that little certain just occurrence of events of that through the whole time, it just really, really got me. And it got me more so to tell people, like, yo, cool if you get to great heights in this world, but if you're not bringing people along with you, then you're just experiencing the journey by yourself. And you're getting to that end result and you're raising that trophy, but you look around and there aren't people cheering for you because they're happy you got there because they've seen everything you've done and they remember what you did for them. But they're more so clapping and congratulating you for doing it just because you're you. So, as we go through this and you listen to this, if you're a part of a team, part of a sport, continue to bring people with you, continue to lift people up, continue to expect a lot out of them, and continue to have some grace with them that they're not where they need to be at that point, but at one point they'll get there. But some people don't know how special they are until you tell them. I had people tell me I was special all the time. And look at me. Now I got a show. Not saying that that's my ultimate flex, but I had people that poured into me and saw greatness in me. That's how I got 26 scholarships in high school to go to college. That's how I was a starter at the University of Oregon. That's how I went on to play in the NFL. That's why I went on and had jobs working in college football. All those types of things because I had people believe in me. So if you want to be great, make other people great, and that'll raise your level and your ability of what you are capable of. And we all have potential, but it depends on what we put into it and what we put it towards that says what we can get to. I hope that made sense. But once again, if you haven't, go catch F1, the movie with Brad Pitt and Damson Idris. And this is a semi-fast Friday, but I really just had to tell and talk about that story. So if it meant something to you, if it hit a chord with you, if it resonated with you, please reach out in some way, shape, or form and let me know. I do this for everybody that's out there to give you guys just something extra to push you just a little bit more, to give you that little umph that you need to go be special. And I hope that's what this did for you today. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Stay healthy.